Whether you love it or hate it, the new Ghostbusters movie has finally hit theaters across America. For those of you who have been living under a rock for the past few days, Ghostbusters is a reboot of the original 1984 film of the exact same name. It's about a group of scientists who live in New York and they have a business called the Ghostbusters. They basically wander around the city and they catch ghosts, obviously. The original 1984 version is considered a classic amongst general audiences, while this one has 900,000 dislikes for its trailer on YouTube. Now let me rephrase that just to get my point across. Now, original, classic amongst the general public, while this one is the most disliked trailer in the history of YouTube. People are going wild while saying how bad the movie is. People say that this version is the one created by Zool himself. I actually once remember reading a comment that said, quote, "If Gozer got to choose the destructor for the apocalypse, this would be the form that he would choose." End quote. Now, first off, that would make for a really weird movie. Think about it. Finale of Ghostbusters. Oh no! Gozer has chosen his traveler. It's a remake! Oh my god! Now, I think the Ghostbusters franchise has already been screwed over. I'm looking at you, Ghostbusters 2. You abysmal disaster, you! And despite the general public's opinion, I didn't think the new Ghostbusters was that bad. I mean, granted, it's nowhere near as good as the 1984 original version, but it had some moments here and there. I laughed at it, but just for the sake of this video, let's get down to the review. My problems with Ghostbusters 2016. My first issue with the movie was the characters for the story. Now, I thought the main cast was okay. They were funny, but I'm talking about the side characters. To be more specific, Kevin, played by Chris Hemsworth. He starts out nicely. In the story, he's the receptionist for the Ghostbusters facility. And the joke is, he's not very smart. He's dim-witted and stupid. There was one point where he struggled to answer a phone.
It's funny because he's stupid!
It started out fun, but at the end of the day, it's the same joke. He's stupid. Because of this, the joke got really stale really fast, to the point where the joke got really annoying. As the movie kept on going and going, Kevin became more and more like Jar Jar Binks from The Phantom Menace. But Kevin's not the only one we're digging out of here. Let's go ahead and talk about the movie's lead antagonist, Rowan. Now, before he became this thing, Rowan was a human janitor who was being bullied and picked on a lot. So to cope with this, he built a lab underneath the Empire State Building and plans to unleash the undead upon New York City and cause the apocalypse. Now, this to me is very unrealistic. You see, if I were to become the victim of a bully, I would at least stand up for myself, not take revenge on all of humanity, or at least see a psychiatrist, because that'll help with your bloodthirsty rage. Because then if you don't, then you'll end up as the next Charles Manson. But enough about characters, let's move on.
My next big issue with the film was the CGI used in this film. There was way too much CG used in the film. In fact, it wasn't even that impressive looking. Most movies like this one overuse CG, but sometimes it can work really well with films like Godzilla. But with Ghostbusters, on the other hand, it looks like an overpriced cartoon. But you know what? The original effects look way better. The original Ghostbusters is most famous for its nightmare-inducing practical effects. But I'll give it this, though. The CG in Ghostbusters is better than this one. Ugh, look at it. But this is where I'll give it to you guys. Which is the better effect? Zool from the 1984 Ghostbusters movie? Or Slimer from 2016's Ghostbusters? Comment below in order to cast your vote. While the movie certainly isn't terrible, there are lots of awkward moments and some of the characters just fall flat on their faces. So on the scale, Ghostbusters is mediocre. So what do you think of the film? Did you love it or did you hate it? Leave a comment below. And please like, share, and subscribe this video to your friends. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.